It's your boy, it's Carter TV, here to drop y'all another crazy, sad story. Um, I'm just gonna get right into it, feel me? This story is about a woman named Brenda, and Brenda was going through a lot in her life, and Brenda's life is not so lucky. Her life is not so lucky. She's been dealing with guys who really do her dirty, cheat on her, abuse her, steal from her. And Brenda is such a giving woman. She go above and beyond for people. But in this case, Brenda thought was what she thought when she found love turned out to be Halloween's nightmare. Alright, so Brenda had just got out of a long 3-year relationship. It was up and down, it was toxic, it was abusive, it was physical, it was mentally draining. So she she meets this one guy. She's at the library just to, change her scenery, do different things. There's women out there that actually go to the fucking library, believe it or not. So she went to the library just to, probably read or get some peace and quiet, get some peace of mind. And she come across this guy named Brandon. Now, Brandon was in the library, and Brandon was looking through, like, books. Well, let me not just say books. He was looking through, like, bug books, books on human body. He was looking up on books like poison and stuff. But that ain't really catch Brenda's eye. She just saw a man in the library, into books. And what he was actually doing, he was sitting down. He had a couple books piled right next to him, and he was going through a few. Reading some, going through a few. And they locked eyes as she walked past. They locked eyes. She walked past him at least 2 more times after that, and, sparked the conversation with him. So they sparked a long conversation, and they was in the library talking until the library closed. So they got real acquainted with each other and everything. And after that, Brenda kept going back to the library to see if she was going to run into Brandon. And Brandon haven't been there in a good 3 weeks. He hasn't gone back to the library, so she was hoping to run into him. So 1 whole week, she didn't go to the library. The following week after that, she goes back to the library. Surprisingly, Brandon is there. And she goes, hey, Brandon, he goes, oh, hey, Brenda, how you doing? And she basically made it known, like, she was looking for him. She was just like, I ain't see you in the library in a couple of weeks. Is everything okay? He was like, yeah, just going through family issues and stuff like that. And Brendan was like, oh, I hope everything okay. And then, he was like, and his face expression looked like he didn't want to be bothered. She kind of picked up on it and kind of was just like, all right, well, look like you got a lot on your mind. I'm going to just, let you go. So Brandon he was one of them shy type of guys. You know what I'm saying? He was shy. He didn't know how to shoot his shot. He didn't know how to take charge. What happened now is that she's about to walk away. He was meant to say, can we get up? But it didn't come out. He let her walk. But she spins the block, turns around. Hey, I know this might be off guard or anything, but would you like to go out sometime, this and that and the third? So he goes, yeah, I would love to, basically. You know what I'm saying? So she was like, oh, cool. I'm gonna give you my number. So she gave him a number. They exchanged numbers. They've been texting ever since. Now, their little fling was going on for about 3 months. They was going out on dates. They was going to theme parks. He was surprising her with like little picnics in the park. Picnic day. He would call her. Every chance he got, he would call her. She would call him. They would text. Now, this dating been going on for about 3 months. It wasn't serious. It was just dating. It was just going out, hanging out, good time, going to theme parks, picnic dates, movies, all this in a 3-month period. And Brendan, one night they went out to like a little local bar just for a few drinks. And Brendan's not really a drinker. So they started, having drinks, have small conversation. And with him drinking, it kind of opened him up a little bit more. It made him be more a little aggressive. And they was at, one of them local bars where they play all different types of music, from country to reggae to Spanish to rap. They was at one of those, mixed bars. And it was a mixed crowd. You know what I'm saying? So she was more of a outgoing. He was more the house person. Like he was shy. You know what I'm saying? So with him drinking liquor, she started to see a different side of him. And she was like kind of liking his more aggressive, because he was all up on her. He was, giving her that, come here, you my woman vibe, you mine. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, after a few dances, he had like three drinks. He had like 2 Long Islands and 3 shots of something dark. She had some Ciroc, two cups of Ciroc and something else. So she was feeling nice. He was feeling the liquor, you feel me? And he was like, I gotta use the bathroom. Stay right here. Don't take your pretty self nowhere. She was like, I ain't going nowhere. In her mind, she ready to let that man put it down in her guts. In her mind, that look in your system, he feeling right, I'm feeling right. He aggressive, she turned on. She ready to take him to the crib. So he goes to the bathroom. In the midst of him going to the bathroom for about a good 5 to 10 minutes, he's in the bathroom. He's actually throwing up. You know what I'm saying? Remember, he's not a drinker, so he's throwing up. He's getting it out of the system. You know what I'm saying? Cleans himself up. He comes back. Another guy is talking to his lady, and she kind of basically is, nutting him away. Like, yo, I'm here with somebody. I'm good. So the guy gets aggressive. Yo, come on, stop playing. And he kind of grabs her. Brendan sees this, and he snaps. He's just like that. He snaps. Walks up to him. Is there a problem? So the guy looks at him like, the fuck? I'm talking to her. Do you mind? He said, I do mind. She's with me. So the guy basically says, she wouldn't be with no pimp script like you, fucking nerd. Get the fuck out of here and mush the guy. So she sees that. And she was like, hey, cut it out. I'm not with you. And this and that and the third. So the dude was like, you with me, bitch. Like, he called out her name. You with me, bitch. Fuck is you doing? Sit down. So he kind of mushes Brendan. Brendan turns around and hooks him. Boop. Hit the guy. Drops him. Gets on top of him. Start wailing him out. Boop, boop, boop. Giving it to him. Beating his face in, right? Then his friends come. They help him up off him. One of his friends hit Brendan in the stomach, right? Then he goes for his face. Brendan ducks. Back kicks the dude in his nuts. He lets him go. Brendan uppercuts and then left hook counter him. Boop. Drop the dude. He ends up falling into the bar. Breaks in a couple of stool steps, right? The dude who was trying to take his girl, he gets up. He's like, all right, kid, come on. So they get to shaking one-on-one now. Brendan get in his stance. Brendan, he watches MMA. He's a fan of MMA. When you in a house, a lot of the time, you gravitate to a lot of things. You start learning all types of other new things. You start reading into stuff. So he get into his MMA stance, and he getting it on with the dude. So he ends up flipping the guy over, putting him in his submission, and breaking his arm and his shoulder all in one. Boop. Pops his shit out of place, breaks his arm. You know what I'm saying? The dude is agony and pain. The guy's looking, come on, we gotta get him out of here. So Brenda is looking like, what the fuck just happened? So he goes back to her, you okay? And he's like, yeah. He's like, let's get out of here. So they leave. They go back to her place. He kind of is like, he's still a little edge, but she brings him down. She kind of mellows him down. I didn't know what to think. I thought they was really gonna beat you up, and you kind of handled yourself very well. And he was like, yeah, I'm into MMA fighting. I watch a couple fights. I watch a couple training exercises. So she saw you know how to handle yourself. So they ended up having sex that night. He ends up putting it down on her. They was into some freaky shit. You know what I mean? He was giving her the works. So after that, right, whatever, the relationship kind of just grew over time. They became in a relationship, and Brendan started to act weird once he got more comfortable with her. They ended up, about 2 years into the relationship, they got a place together. And they got like a little 2-bedroom house. They got like a little 2-bedroom house. And she basically said, you know, the man cave, they got a basement and everything. Now, with him having a basement, it opened him up to all the shit he wanted to do. Now, Brendan had a split personality, as you can see. When he drinks, he triggers. He triggers his other personality. His other personality is basically it's like a thirst for blood. I mean, he has to kill. So the dude at the bar kind of triggered that, and when he seen blood in his mind, he kind of was blacking out. So half the fight he don't remember from that. He you know what I mean? He blacked out. So whenever she would be at work, he would be in the basement fixing it up. He met this one lady who was out running her, running her dog, walking her dog or whatever in the neighborhood where they moved to. He invited the lady over. He poisoned the lady. Like, he gave her something to knock her out, took her in the basement, chained her up, and tortured the lady. Cleaned up or before his lady came home. Now, this has been going on. This was his first victim. You know what I'm saying? This was his first victim. The second victim was a neighbor. He cut his genitals off, cut his nipples off, and he was collecting nipples. Weird shit. He was into weird shit. Cut his genitals off, tortured the man, killed him, and then he buries his victims under the house, basically in his basement. He dug a hole in his basement floor that can go into the ground, and he basically started to put the bodies down there. So this was going on for about the first 3 months he was doing killing. He killed about 6 people within 3 months. He killed about 2 women and 4 guys. His next victims was a set of kids. You know what I'm saying? This was going on. He was killing people. And then after like the first 6 months of him being in the house and him killing people, he had stopped because she got pregnant. Brenda got pregnant. You know what I'm saying? She got pregnant within the 6 months of them moving in. She told him. He calmed down. He cleaned up the basement. So when she ever come down there, because they also had laundry down there. They had a little laundry room down there. She would come down there and do laundry. He could be playing a game. He could be reading down there. He could be, creating shit, building shit. He was also a builder. He likes to build shit. So whenever she would come down there, he got this little setup down there where it alerts him that she's coming. So he had it set up to where she didn't know. And this was going on for about the first 6 months, that setup thing and that killing and all that until she was like, we're having a baby. So boom, they had a baby. About another 6 months later, they had a baby. They had a little girl. And having a baby was new to both of them. You know what I'm saying? She was looking forward to being a mom. He wasn't so sure on being a dad. It was a new experience for him. And, the first few months, let's say the first 4 months of having a kid, it drove him mad. Baby waking him up all hours of the night, crying, changing Pampers. This new experience threw him off edge. You know what I'm saying? And it was making him mad and aggressive where he needed to go kill. So, he went out, he went lurking. He found this gay couple. You know what I'm saying? This gay couple. And he kind of introduced himself. Hey, how you doing? I'm in the neighborhood. Me and my lady, we here. Da 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 da. The gay couple was like, oh, how y'all doing? Welcome to the neighborhood. Da da da. And the conversation switched between them, the three. Is when one of the dudes was just like, hey, it's been missing people going on around here. You know anything about that? And he was just like, no, it's my first time hearing it. He was like, yeah, this one lady, and I think your neighbor, the old man who lived next door to you, they disappeared. Nobody heard from them. And they basically told Brendan, like, a couple of other neighbors disappeared. You gotta watch out. This is the first time we ever had this type of situation in the neighborhood. So Brendan was like, I'll be on alert. And then, the gay couple offered Brendan to come to their party. They was having a little house party and everything. So Brendan was like, all right, I'll bring my lady through real calm. And he was like, yeah, bring your lady. If you have a kid, bring them through too. So it was a way for Brendan to learn the neighborhood and who's in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? With him learning that, he get to move how he want to move. He get to pick who he want to pick. He get to choose who he want to choose and who he want to do it to with. Now, they go to the party, you know, they meet some of the neighbors, and they basically inform Brenda, like, there's been such missing people going on in the neighborhood. And Brenda was like, what? I'm just now hearing about this. Me and my boyfriend, we just hearing about this. And the gay couple was like, yeah, we ran into him the other day. He was such a nice dude, da 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 da. So the one dude was like, I think he's a little weird. He said this to his partner. He's like, I think he's a little weird, a little off, da da da. But they don't say that in front of Brenda. So boom, Brendan shows his lack of parenting when the baby starts to scream and starts crying and all this and going on. So he didn't know how to handle all the crying. So Brenda came over so he didn't feel embarrassed. And they was like, are you a first time dad? And he was like, yeah, it's my first time. I'm still learning this thing. He was like, it's all right. It's big steps. They was basically, letting them know what to do and how to move. And one of the gay dudes was like, I always wanted kids, but I never got a chance to have kids. But, so Brenda was just like, how come you guys don't adopt kids? And, they basically wanted kids of their own. They wanted to have kids the old-fashioned way. They say that they was mine. There's some people that's like that. And Brendan got so likened to them, he wanted to torture these men. He liked them. He wanted to kill them. That was his mindset. Figure these men out and deal with them, which it came to. One of the dudes, they was having let's say a few weeks later, the dudes were having an argument amongst each other. And one of them left, and Brendan was on his porch watching as he was snoring out the crib. And he was pacing back and forth in the street because, he just got into it with his lover or whatever the case must be. And Brendan shouted out, hey, man, you okay? And it's like, fuck off. Told Brendan, fuck off. Brendan was just like, well, all right. So the dude ended up going back in the house the next day. Brendan went to work, and the dude came over. It was just Brendan and the kid. Brenda went to work. Brendan and the kid was at the home. So he was, watching his, taking care of his kid, whatever. He just put the baby down for a nap. He hit a doorbell. It's the gay guy, the neighbor. Hey, man, I just came over here to apologize about last night. I didn't mean to shout at you. And, I was just going through it in the house. And he's like, it's all right, it's all cool. I thought I'd check up on you. So the dude was just like, all right, I appreciate it. And the neighbor was just like, hey, how's your kid? Baby's down for a nap right now. You want to come in for a drink, a beer? So the dude was like, yeah. So he comes in. Brendan puts something to sleep in his drink. The dude passes out within 5 minutes. He takes the dude in the basement, begins to torture the guy. Ends up killing him. Now what happens now is the dude drops something right in front of his house. And when he dropped something in front of his house, it left a clue, but Brendan didn't catch it. He dropped like a watch. Dropped his watch, and by the time Brendan came to the door, the dude totally forgot about the watch. So he came in, Brendan ended up killing him, torturing him. So he had about a good 10 bodies underneath his house. 10 bodies. This man was on a killing spree. After killing the dude, the baby woke up and was crying, and he rushed upstairs, came home. Brenda had just walked through the door and heard the baby. He was like, oh my God. So when he heard the baby stop crying, he looked in and seen that Brenda picked up the kid. So he rushed, because he had a little blood on his clothes. And she was like, is that blood? And he was like, shocked to see that he still had that on. He's like, no, it's painting. I just bought some paint. I'm going to repaint downstairs. Downstairs in his basement had blood smattered everywhere. So him painting it in a different color would kind of block out the blood stains. You know what I'm saying? So he decided to do that, and that went on. So the gay guy's lover, right? He comes over, he's walking in the neighborhood looking for his partner, and he comes across Brenda and Brendan's house, and he notices the watch on the floor. Picks up the watch and he rings the bell. He's like, hey, my person, my lover's been here, I'm looking for such and such, and I haven't seen him. His watch is here. Has he been here? And Brendan told him, like, yo, he came here, we spoke brief, and then he took off. I don't know where he went after that. So, after that, the dude got curious, like, ain't no way the guy just comes here and leaves. Like, what did he come here for? Basically, he came here to apologize to me. I guess you guys had an argument one night. I tried to shout him out, see if he was okay. He told me to fuck off. So the next day he came back, he apologized to me. We spoke brief, and then he took off. So the guy was just like, okay. Now the police is in the neighborhood. They trolling the areas. It kind of stops Brendan's killing spree, right? It stops his killing spree. So we thought. And with the baby crying and everything, Brenda goes out one night. She goes to the office to pick something up. Now the baby is crying hysterically. He don't know what to do. And what happens now is, to get the baby to stop crying, right, he kind of puts the baby to sleep with one of his little sleeping medicines that he's been using on his victims. Now the baby's body is not really strong enough to take whatever he's giving him. The baby goes to sleep, doesn't wake up. Baby doesn't wake up. And so Brenda comes home. She comes home and she looks at her baby and she's like, Brendan, wake up. The baby's not breathing. So he goes, what? The baby's not breathing. Baby's not breathing. Call 911. So he calls 911. 911 came. They announced her baby was dead. And the baby been dead for about a good 6 hours. Good 6 hours. Like, oh my God, how did this happen? How did this happen? Da, 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 da. Who was home with the baby? They go, Brendan was. Brendan, what happened? Da, da, da. They start questioning him. He's like, nothing. I just put the baby to sleep. Gave the baby a little nap. And I don't know what else could have happened. Da, 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 da. Plead his case. They didn't find no evidence of showing that he did it. So they take a further look into this investigation. And, they do a background check on him. He come up clean. Nothing is really popping up with this guy. They just lost a kid. They grieving. She's losing her mind. She was her first time being a mom. Within 7 months, they lost their kid. Baby was 7 months old. 7 months old. Now, things turned left for Brendan when she noticed that Brendan has been more happy ever since the baby been born. She assumed he was cheating. He was doing some dirt shit. So, but it wasn't the case. So she started to, question, like, you've been kind of more happy since the baby been gone. Like, is everything all right? Are you good? Like, so he was like, what you mean? Since I'm calm, I'm good. Like, he's like, no, when the baby was here, you was a little more aggressive. You was always angry. You showed no, parenting skills. When the baby cried, you would get real upset. Now the baby's not here. You seem more okay. Like, you seem more okay. Like, you seem more happier. You outside more. You running around. You taking me more out. Like, was the baby something that was bothering you? And you go, no, I'm just okay. I'm just happy. So she ain't thinking nothing of it. Brendan went out. Now, mind y'all, Brendan didn't work. He did not work. He made money at home, online, stuff like that. That's how he supported his family. So she never went in the basement unless she did laundry. And every time she went down there, it seemed pretty normal. He spent most of his time in the basement. So she decided when he ran out, went for a jog, he started going to the gym. So when he went out, she watched him go out. She said, babe, I'll be back. I'm going to the gym. So she goes, okay. She thought to herself, I'm going to go check to see what he be doing in this fucking basement. She goes to the basement. Now, the basement is not locked, but he had it set up so when he's down there, he's alerted. She's coming. She goes down there. She looks around. She looks at the stuff. She's checking everything. She notices something. She noticed, something is sticking up from the ground. It's looking like it's been dug up, right? So she goes over there. She finds a fucking finger sticking up out her ground. At first, she must have thought it was fake. Nah, it's fake. That's nothing. So whole fucking thing is sticking up. She touches it. The shit feel real as a motherfucker. She takes the shovel, digs it up, finds the neighbor dude, the gay guy, in her fucking basement dead. Underneath that is so much more. So she kind of loses her fucking mind. Loses it. She calls 911, right? In the midst of her calling 911, Brendan comes home. He comes home, finds her down in the basement, sees the whole arm sticking up. His first thing is, what are we gonna do about this? She looks at him like, what the fuck you mean we gonna do about this? You have a whole human body sitting right here in our fucking basement. I don't want to be a part of this. Now, mind you, while they're having this conversation, the police is on the phone listening. I don't want to be a part of this shit. You down here doing all types of fucking weird shit. It's no wonder why our baby is there. You killed our fucking kid. He confesses to killing the kid. I did kill the kid. I killed him and a bunch of other people that's down there along with him. She goes, why, Brendan? Why would you do this to these people? It's my thing. It's an itch. I got an itch for killing. So now that you found that, she said, I'm calling the cops. He's like, you ain't doing shit. You about to join along with them. So he ends up trying to kill her. She picks up the shovel and knocks him out. Boop. Right? Knocks him down. She's on her way up the stairs. He hits a button on the lower part of the stairs, which closes the door. Such is shut. Boom. She's trapped down there with him there. Brenda, come here. She has to fight for her life. Now she's fighting with him down in the basement. A bunch of whole fighting is going on. He ends up knocking her out. In the midst of that, police arrive at the crib. Just in time. He hears them upstairs. Now, within the months of her being at work, he booby traps the house. And wherever people was in the house, he didn't have cameras, but wherever he heard somebody in the house, he knew exactly what it was because he learned the house. He learned the whole format of the house. Wherever they was at, he learned the house. And he set booby traps in certain spots of the house, which he knows. If they was in the living room, he set a booby trap there. If they was in the dining room, he set a booby trap there. If they was in the kitchen, he set a booby trap there. If they was by the stairs, he set a booby trap there. If they was in front of the basement door, he set a booby trap there. So two officers arrived, got caught in booby traps. One got his foot severed. The other one got an arrow through his thigh. More cops come. They say the house is booby trapped. He's downstairs trying to torture her. He's chaining her up and everything. She's pleading, Brendan, don't do this. Don't kill me. You killed our kid. How could you? He said, after I kill you and whoever comes else in this house, I'm disappearing. So SWAT and everybody come. In the midst of them coming, he sets off a bomb and escapes under the house. He escapes. He's about an hour in the wind. He's gone. He didn't kill Brenda. He left her. The house is set to blow within the next 5 minutes. 4 of those minutes, they finally get the door open to the basement. They come down here. They help her. Where is he? He dipped out. He escaped. He had a whole escape route. She's like really lost a lot of blood. She's fainting. So one of the guys noticed it's about a good 20 seconds on the bomb. As they free her, he goes, guys, we got 20 seconds. It's about to blow. Grab her, let's go. They grab her. They all escape. Get away from the house. It's about to blow. The house blows up. Boom. Big ass bomb. Boom. Bomb so big it takes out 2 more houses. Boom, with people inside them houses. Brendan is going with the wind. He is going. They go to the hospital, they question her, and they like, what happened? He's killed our kid. She had the confession on her phone. They got the confession. Brendan is a wanted man for 10 murders. They never found him. He ends up moving to a different state. He ends up moving to a different state, changing his whole appearance. This all happened in Ohio. He ends up moving down towards what Texas area is, changed his whole appearance, changed his name. They never found him after that. He was going with the wind. I'm going to do part two to this. But part two coming soon. It's your boy, Carter TV. Really shout outs for my last video. Gotta give a shout out to Teresa Williams. She was the first to comment. Truly blessed Steph. You comment well. Kia Epps, I see you. Renewed Passport. And last but not least, Michelle Bird. Those are the 5 people that comment first. Be the first, get a shout out. It's your boy, it's Carter TV, and I'm out.